Welcome to the TED Ed Podcast, where we delve into the issues that shape our daily lives and drive our productivity. We confront topics that matter deeply to all of us, from healthcare and affirmative action to voting rights and monetary success and failure. We cover it all. And yes, we dive into the complex world of politics, exploring how our country has evolved from slavery to the 21st century. Our content is crafted with care and expertise, drawing from years of experience in these critical areas. We invite you to give the TED Ed podcast a listen. You won't be disappointed. Share your thoughts with friends and confidants, and don't forget to like, comment, and share our episodes. Your engagement helps us grow and reach more listeners. Are you passionate about these topics? Do you have unique insights to share? You could be one of our guest speakers. Drop us a line, send an email, or leave a comment. All requests will be considered. Join us on this journey of exploration and understanding. This is the TED Ed Podcast. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Well, people, we're starting out here. I just have an announcement from Mr. Harvey. He said we have to wait at, the, at that one group who's going to help get Kamala over the goal line as folks that, man, I don't know if we can depend upon them to do what they say they're going to do too. But
Oh, you remember
that
you
group
remember the
that
pussy
said we
hats?
need are white women, not black folks, but this time white women.
Well, we already know. We already know they got 85% of the black vote, bro. Kamala Harris has 85% of the black vote.
What about the young folks, though? Can you think that dynamic will help us out instead of having to depend on the white women? I'm having a problem trying to base her election and stuff on some white women.
Well, that's if they don't show up and vote for Kamala Harris, shame on them. It's their fault. Because whatever happens after that, if Trump get back in office, boy, it's gonna be hell to pay. This is a fact. He already said he wanted jail. He says got to be some consequences. You know, these women, you know, I mean, there's consequences already going on with all these women dying. So I don't know. You know, you don't have to be for abortion, but but at least you need to respect a person's choice. This is a free country. That's just my opinion. You know, I mean, I'm not for abortion neither, but hey, you gotta respect a person's choice, because you take that away, then they're gonna start taking all your other rights away. Women, period, man. Did you know? I didn't know this, Abe. Did you know this? That women could not get credit cards until the 70s.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. They have to have their husband to sign. They did. If they
I
wanted a
didn't
credit
know
card, they
that.
had to have their husband to sign. That's how the world was back then. And most of them thought because in 1921 or 20, when they had the Suffrage Act came along and allowed women to vote, they thought that they were free and do anything. But no, they could. Most credit card companies now, some women could get a credit card without their husband to sign, but a majority of them couldn't. And I think another reason why they justified that whole thing was because back then, or in the early 60s and stuff, most women were housewives. So they just automatically said that, oh, they're housewives, so they don't have any income coming in. It's the male who brings in the money, so he's the one that's going to have to do this. So that was their rationale for not letting women have credit cards,
Well,
because they're housewives. They don't have any money. They don't have any earning power other than being a housewife. So they justified it until somebody decided that they were going to file discrimination suits against all these credit card companies and everything. Then they decided to take that away from them and allow them to get credit on their own merit. But still, they held them back and everything because if they couldn't show a visible income on themselves, they still did not. They denied them credit cards for a long time, even after that. Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember
And
that.
so that means if they couldn't get credit cards, they certainly couldn't get no apartment.
Nothing. They were dependent upon their male partner or their family. The dad of their family are giving them a credit card and stuff to start out life if they weren't married. Women were supposed to marry, and the man was the head of the household. That's how they felt.
Well,
Nobody complained about it because most of the women and stuff were housewives, so they thought, okay, fine, that's my husband's
well,
responsibility.
we know that's not the case now.
Oh hell no! Oh hell no! Man, you let it get cussed out, eyes scratched out, and they are the head of these households because the men aren't there, especially in our community. Most of these households, head of the household are women, and in some households, the women are still ahead, and the man could be sitting there, but she's still the head of the household because she's their breadwinner, the one that brings in the money. And he's sitting back waiting to her bring their money in. Horrible shame. Well, Ted, we got a lot going on, man.
Yes, we do.
Got a lot going on. And I'm really conflicted here, man, that we have, starting with Liz Cheney, going around with Kamala and promoting her for that she was going to be Republican, who was going to vote for her. And then you having this floodwater of articles coming out, these generals and stuff saying that the man is no good. Then you got a 4-star general in the Marine Corps who was his chief of staff coming out saying the same thing.
Yep.
But you don't hear anybody saying anything about it. What's the silence for? Most of those major folks out there who were defending him, most of them haven't came out and said anything other than Lindsey Graham, who's a fool. He came out and said something. Matter of fact, he tried to denigrate General Kelly, but the rest of them haven't came out and said a whole lot. The only word that you heard was his campaign came out and gave a 2-paragraph statement and everything, and after that, nobody said anything. Another thing that was brought up on some of these news items and stuff and everything is that this weekend when he came out and started talking about Arnold Palmer's genitalia, you had nobody said anything about it. There was a comedy thing going on. All the nighttime folks came out and really gave him the going over, but none of those Republican politicians said a word. They have not spoken out. I'm sitting here wondering, Terry, what the heck, how much can these folks take when they're going to let that man go and realize that he is a danger to them and to this country? When is that going to happen?
Well, and it's not that he's so powerful, it's just he has so many followers.
And
Well, those are the voters that put them in office because he's the leader of these people, and so therefore they have made him their leader, and whatever he says, I want him out of the office. I want her out of the office. And that Republican who's not kowtowing to Trump, he gone or she gone. That's what happened to Cheney. That's exactly what happened to Cheney. That's how powerful he is. Now, how you gonna have one of the most strictest conservatives, and she was third in line in the Republican Party, third or fourth. So, and the people voted her out. So it's not about conservatism. It's not about her policies or nothing. This right here is a movement, cult, whatever you want to call
it. Let me give you my take and scenario on this.
Okay.
I don't believe that they're because they want to stay in power or keep their job. I believe it's fear. This man has decided that he was going to use fear and division to rule. I went this afternoon at 1 o'clock. I called another person I know who was in another county who works in the Democratic election committee in that county, and I asked them to if they had any more yard signs so we can put them up, because we got people who want Kamala Harris yard signs over here in our subdivision. So she said, how much you need? I said, about 20 of them. She said, oh, okay, we got them. So I said, well, I might be over there this afternoon to get it. I went there to her place to get the signs. I drove into the neighborhood, Ted, and they had one of the houses, big house, had a great big old sign, Trump Vance, big old sign. The rest of the houses in that area and stuff, I can hardly see anything. Maybe one sign, Trump Vance sign, was sitting there in one somebody's yard, but there wasn't that Kamala Harris sign nowhere that I could see. And I drove through several streets. So I drove up to her property. She didn't have a Harris sign in her yard either. There wasn't no Harris sign in her yard either. But she is helping the Democrats. And she's out there dealing with the voting and stuff in that county. She hasn't got a Harris sign in her yard either. So I'm not going to ring the doorbell. Walk ahead. She had about 5 or 6 Harris signs and stuff laying, sitting there on the side of the wall, waiting for me to pick up. She said, oh, I grabbed them up and I'm getting ready. I could say, where the rest of them? I wanted 20. And she volunteered and said, well, Ed, the other signs that I got, I went and picked them up. They're in the back of my car. So I decided to ask her, I said, aren't you afraid? This is the black woman now. And all I saw was white folks over there in this area. And we're in the South now.
Yeah.
We're in the South now. I said, girlfriend, aren't you afraid these folks gonna let you over here? I'm just kidding and playing with it now. And she's, oh, no. My neighbors are good. When I moved in, some of them came over and they smiled at me and they came over and helped me with my lawn and everything. So, yes, I got some good neighbors. And then I said, well, I don't see any Harris signs around here. All I see is them Trump folks. Oh, they're around. I said, they are. She said, yeah. They just, when I went to pick your signs up and everything, they told me that they had 4 or 5 people from my subdivision who came into their office and picked up some Harris signs. I said, well, where they at? Because they not out here. And I'm joking, Ted, and she get me the signs. I was okay, thank you, I appreciate it. Did my little small talk and got back in the car and was driving out of the subdivision. And it dawned on me. These people are scared. They're scared. They're scared to put a sign in their yard. What happened? What's wrong with this country, Ted, when you got politicians and your regular citizens who own their own home are afraid to put a sign in their yard saying who they want to vote for?
You know what's going on.
I understand what's going on, but what does that tell you about our country now? In the past, everybody with the election come along, your neighbor can say, hey, man, I'm voting for so-and-so. I'm voting for so-and-so. I don't want to vote for him. There was a commonality and stuff, Ted, there. There was a friendly thing going on there. After the election was over with, they went back, neighbors, and having parties, drinking beer together and everything. There was a friendly discourse. Where's the friendly discourse?
Because
this is a beginning of a dictatorial society that this man has created. And man, I don't like how it's looking and where it's headed to. Go ahead.
No, what you're saying is absolutely right. And the thing is that the other side is saying they're nothing. They're saying that they are communists. They're saying that they are Marxists. They're saying that they don't love this country. Because he lying, half of us don't even know what a Marxist is. We don't even know how the communist system works. Russia is not communist now. China is not communist. Who's communist in the world right now? You know anybody that's communist?
Most of these folks are dictators. They got dictators running in these countries.
Yeah.
Yeah. People who you got to bend to their will. And that's my point in this whole thing. We have turned ourselves into a place where we are afraid. And they have shown that they will fight and kill and do whatever they want to do and everything to you if you disagree with them. This man, Giuliani, is losing all of his assets because he went out and did what he did for this man. Sat out there and told lies, did everything he could and everything. And now he sent folks out there to beat up on these 2 election workers. We don't like what you're doing, banging on the door and stuff, saying you better not come out there. You're afraid to do your civic duty. That's the beginning. And if it keeps on going, and even if Harris wins in November, he's still going to be around until we decide what we want to have for this country and stand up, everybody, including that the knucklehead Supreme Court who sat up there on their high horse with their black robes on and everything and gave this man carte blanche to do what the heck he wanted to do.
Well, let's put it like this. When President Obama became president, well, I take it back before that. I would say Bill Clinton. And then when Al Gore ran, there was something going on then. Because see, their main thing was they wanted to get rid of abortion, and they wanted total power for the Republican Party, but they didn't really know how to get that power, total power. So they figured it out, and they've been working on this for years. Years. I mean, they've been holding secret meetings. You had these billionaires that was out there. They started Alex, and they said we got to start from the ground up. And they went to the school boards, and we got to take over the schools. They didn't like the way. I'm gonna just put it just like it is. They didn't like the fact that blacks was going to these prestigious schools. They didn't like it, bro. Graduating with honors from Harvard, Yale, Brown University, Stanford, getting in and doing well in those schools. It was too many educated black people, and they was getting positions, and people were fighting. I remember back in the 80s, people was fighting, hey, how come we don't have no black CEOs? They qualify. Why don't we have the, we had a few black CEOs back then, but then all of a sudden they start becoming blacks. A lot of black CEOs start coming about, running the ship, running these companies. Then the women start coming. They start becoming CEOs. Now you got more women than ever running these companies. To me, that's the deal, bro. That's what's going on. Because see, when you running these major corporations, that means you're making decisions on people being hired and getting these good jobs. But the point is, the ceiling is still there. The ceiling is still there. But they let a few go ink in. But the point is that hey, construction. To get that construction dollar, that's a hard thing to do, bro. That's one of the biggest markets that you can do. And there's a lot of black folks that's in construction, but they become the second tier or third tier of the bid. They just hire them to do the little menial work. It's all about the money. That's what they're doing. It's all about distributing that money because, whenever they can stop you from progressing and getting those good jobs, right now, I know a friend of ours, and I'm not going to mention her name. Her daughter was going to become a medical doctor. And so she's doing the intern. She's an internist. The white doctors are discriminating against her because she's black.
It's always been going on, Ted. It's been going on when we were coming up.
We know that, but what I'm
That's been
saying
going on
is
for a
that
long
that's not
time.
supposed to be in this day in 2024.
Oh no, they're not gonna be. They don't want nobody else to. That's a closed society. Them doctors is a closed society. They always did not want. That's why we can't have but so many black doctors and stuff out there because they have to fight so daggone hard, and there's so many double standards and stuff out there that the ones that we do see who have doctor on their chest and everything, I can look at them, Ted, and I know that they had to go through hell to get where they're going. Just like my boy Winston Churchill over here saying, if you're going through hell, keep going. And that's what they did. That's what they did. They went through hell and they kept going. They did not let that stop them. That's why you don't see a whole lot of them with doctors and stuff out there who are doing things because they only gonna let a few of them through.
Do you remember the Baki case?
Huh?
You remember the Baki case?
Yeah.
Yeah, he sued because he claimed he was being discriminated and getting to medical school.
Mm-hmm.
So And because a lot of people, a lot of black folks was applying to become medical doctors.
Well, most of us have found a way to get around it because now uh, uh, the schools and stuff and everything who taught medicine and everything were mostly white. Now there's black schools and stuff, so they've gotten past that part. But they got one section and stuff that they have to get through, and that's that internship. And most of these hospitals and stuff are owned and run by people who are white.
Yeah,
And doctors
absolutely.
who are white. So we're going to have to figure out a way how to get us some black-owned hospitals and run our doctors through these black-owned hospitals, so they can do the internship in these black hospitals and then go out there and get their license. So we've gotten most of it done, but we got that last little bit and everything that we got to take because we can't. Can't is not in my vocabulary. They got to find a way to do what you need to do to get to where you want to do. And the only thing I would be able to tell that young lady who was trying to get her doctor's license and everything, keep on going, baby girl, and deal with them people and stuff and everything. And if you keep on going and they know that you're determined and stuff, then you're gonna get it. And by the time she gets done, she's gonna be battle tested, brother.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. People should not have to go through that.
They shouldn't, but that's the way it
And
is.
yeah, right. That's the way it is.
That's the way it
However,
is.
however, the thing is that when people have to go through that, a lot of times they're apprehensive to bring the next person along and say, "Come on, I'm gonna bring 4 or 5 of y'all, and come on." The whole thing is we need more. I mean, when's the last time you seen a black dentist?
I've seen a few. They have them around here.
Oh yeah, but I'm
Yeah,
just
they have
saying
them.
it's not that many.
Right? It's not. It's not very many psychiatrist doctors who are dealing in psychiatry. There's not very many doctors who dealing in psychology. There's not many doctors in any specialized field at all. And it's very rare to see one. And a woman, whoa.
But what I'm saying is that if you look at the top salaries, I'm talking about these are high six-figure dollars, okay, that these people make 3, 4, 5, $600,000 a year. Some of them, even when they become surgeons, they're in the millions. So the point I'm making is this: is that when you stop a certain group of people, I'm talking about a group of people like the black folks, people that's in this country. What they're doing is they're stopping the progress, because what happens when those people become those specialists and those kinds of doctors? What they do is they reach back and they invest and they say, "Hey, it's some good I can do to help my people." Well, the same thing with these other races. The Irish people do it for their people. The Asians do it for their people, and on and on. You can just, it's on and on. The judges, do it for their people. So that's the thing. And the whole thing is to keep the black race as down. And if it's any kind of profession that can stop you from making those six-figure dollars, it's rough for you to get in there. It's tough. You have to go through hell, and some people can take it.
Well, only the strong gonna survive.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that those Asian folks who want to be doctors, they probably did the same thing with them. They didn't want them to be doctors and stuff, but they made it on through. We just have to realize that anything that we do, Ted, is going to be rough, and it's going to be rough no matter what the heck happened. It's how we figure out how to get through those valleys. There's valleys and stuff in anything that we do, and that's how I feel about it. There's some valleys out there, and you're gonna have to work hard to get through those valleys. If you don't work hard to get through those valleys, you're not gonna make it. And the harder things is, the stronger you're gonna be after you come out. And it's almost like the football player, the basketball player, the harder you work and everything and stuff, when you come out of that daggone, whatever it is, that valley or wherever you're going to be going through to get up there to that National Football League or the NBA or whatever, if you'd have made it through that, man, you were a tough son of a gun. And you have to be, because the same thing and stuff happens and stuff with them, Ted. I know that there's probably hundreds of National Football League potential players and stuff that didn't make it and are just as good as the other players on the field, but they had these things to come up to them. There are white coaches and stuff and everything that do not give them the opportunity and everything to get to that next level because they hold them back or they make things harder and stuff for them. They tell them all kind of stuff, crazy stuff, and they put them in situations and stuff where they can be hurt real bad. But there are some who make it on through, and when they get through, whatever salary they give them, they've earned it. I look at the quarterback and stuff for the Philadelphia Eagles and stuff, Jalen Hurts. He played at Alabama for a long time. He got there to his junior year, man, and he got ready to go into the national championship game, and they pulled that boy out and put another kid and stuff in there from a Hawaiian kid, Tuiasa, where he was. That kid went through 2 years and stuff of tough, hard competition and everything, and did what he had to do to become the best quarterback that he could be. And that coach said, "Nope, I don't want him and stuff there." But he didn't allow Nick Saban to determine and stuff his worth. He took off and left and went to Oklahoma where Lincoln Riley was there, and Lincoln Riley put him back out there on that field as a starting quarterback, and he made it into the National Football League, 4th-round draft pick. Now he's sitting up there at Philadelphia and stuff and everything, one of the highest paid quarterbacks and stuff in the league. If he had to sit down there and let Nick Saban and stuff determine if he is a starting quarterback or not, he would have never made it to where he is at now. Just an example. And I watched it, man. I watched it, man, and it hurt me to see that kid because he was a damn good kid, man. His father trained him and got him into the league. He didn't start the first game of his freshman year, but he started the rest of them, all of them. Took him to the championship game. Second year, took him to the championship game, and they took him out for the championship game. So we don't want you out here to play.
I remember.
Man, that was a hurting thing for that kid and his dad and stuff, man. They were upset about that. But that's just an example and stuff of how we are being treated and we are being done. But this kid his parents and stuff made him strong and told him, "We don't care what's going on. You the strongest thing out there." And he just kept on going and he persevered. And those are signs and stuff for people persevering. You can look at history, man, and tell all of these folks they persevered, man, through some tough times and stuff. Look at Malcolm X, man. He could have laid down and died and said, "Forget this crap. I ain't gonna do this stuff." After his mom got persecuted and did all kind of stuff with him, he threw him in. He was in jail and stuff and everything on drugs or whatever. He could have laid down, but he didn't. He got up. Man. Anyway, Ted, I had to get off my soap opera. Well, one of my notes here, man, was exactly what we started out with, and it's sitting right here in my notes. And you ain't gonna believe it. It was here. I didn't write it down. I had it here before the show even came on. Will white women make that change?
Will they make that change?
Will they make that change? That's what I wrote down there before the show we started. It was early today. I wrote these notes down, And then you came on and said somebody who you cherish the most said the same thing. It's white women. But I don't know, Ted. In this world, in this whatever we are, there is inches and feet that you're gonna have to crawl through. You're gonna have to crawl through hot, cold. You're gonna have to do everything you can. And if she only wins by 0.1%, she done won. So
Yeah.
she's scratching for every vote that she can get. And you got to have that ground game, Ted, if you're going to win. I don't care how much money you got to have a ground game. If you got that ground game, you're going to get it. And I've been noticing that there have been certain commentaries coming from different groups and stuff out there who have spoken about what they're doing out there on the ground and how they're finding out things that these posters and stuff don't realize, that there are a lot of people out there who quietly say that they're going to vote for Kamala Harris. Quietly.
Well, the media, whether they're doing it on purpose or they're doing it just as a report, and they're being snookered. There's about 100 Republican polls out there. 100. And they all have Trump as a favorite. And the media is going with that, is sort of saying that Trump is in the lead. Even they're saying that even the people that's voting, saying that the people that's for Trump has already been voting early. Now, it's my understanding that the Democrats were voting early. But now, all of a sudden, it's the Republicans. So now I don't even know who to believe, because I'm going through listening to these different polling people.
Ted, it's a political game. It is a political game. I wouldn't put it past some of capitalist folks who are telling these people this stuff. And the reason why they do that, Ted, there is a reason for what's going on and what they're waiting for. You remember in 2016 what the heck happened, don't you?
Trump called the.
Oh. Do you remember what happened right before the election and everything? A month or so before the election, what was going on? What were they saying?
Refresh my memory.
They said Clinton was winning by a big margin. Guess what happened? Some of those folks and stuff and everything didn't come out and vote. You make that election as close as you can. Tell people we fighting, we doing this, we fighting, because you want every vote that you can get to come to them polls. Because guess what? She only lost in those 3 states: Wisconsin, Michigan, and what other state? It was one other state.
Pennsylvania, wasn't it?
Pennsylvania, by 60,000 votes. All 3 of those states. If they hadn't have sat there and said that she was winning by a big margin, and it was supposed to have been close.
And she was winning, popularity-wise.
It doesn't matter. You need those battleground states. It doesn't matter about the popular vote. You want them battleground states, though. So get those electoral college votes. That's what matters. That's what wins the elections. That electoral college, not the popular vote. There hasn't been one Republican who has won the national vote count and stuff and everything since Clinton came around, before Clinton got in office. Everybody after that. Bush lost the national election, but he won the electoral college. Doesn't matter what the popular vote says. It matters what the electoral college says. That's it. That's how I voted in the electoral college. That's it. And they got those numbers and stuff that they come out of each one of those states and stuff and everything. And those are battleground states. Now, it just so happened that after Obama came in office, Michigan and Wisconsin became a real critical battleground state. But before that, they only had Virginia, they had Pennsylvania, they had Ohio, they had Florida, Georgia. They were all battleground states. The rest of most states over there in the West, they weren't even involved in that. But those were those battleground states then. Now they've changed because of the population movements and stuff into Michigan, the population movement into Pennsylvania, and they've gotten more electoral college votes because of their population. You have to win that electoral college. And that's where she lost at in them states. She lost Wisconsin, she lost Michigan, and she lost Pennsylvania. She didn't care about Georgia. She lost Georgia too, but she didn't care about them. She lost Florida, but she didn't care about them. She lost Ohio, but she cared about. But she needed those electoral college votes in those 3 states to win. So that's what they're doing. They're out there beating those bushes because look at where Kamala is going to. She ain't going to Illinois. She ain't going to New York. She ain't going to Virginia. She ain't going to Maryland. Where's she going? She's going to Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, North Carolina, where she hasn't been going to North Carolina a whole lot, but she's been going there, and Pennsylvania, and Michigan, and Wisconsin. Them the states she's going to because she needs to win those states. She ain't worried about Florida because she already knows Florida going to be going to Trump, and they talking about Texas, but Texas, I some soundboard stuff. Don't mean shit. Excuse my French. Don't mean nothing. It's the battleground state that you got to win, and that's where she's at. And she's sending her surrogates to Nevada, Arizona, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. That's where she's concentrating her efforts at. That's where you've been seeing her at. That's where she's having rallies at. She's here in Georgia again today. She's been in this state at least 7 times. Holding rallies. Trump just left here yesterday. He was on the news and stuff because he held up traffic. They had traffic backed up on I-85 so he can get his caravan through there. They all mad. Trump and held everybody up. A very important state. You don't see Trump going to Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas. You don't see him going to South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana, Wyoming. He ain't going to those states. You don't want them. He already knows he want them. He ain't got to go there. He don't want Texas. You don't see him going to Texas. You don't see him hardly down in Florida. Every now and then he go out in Florida for a little bit. Ooh, that's it. He going out of there. There's one of them states. Ohio. You don't see him in Ohio. You don't see him in New York. Where he came to New York and stuff. He was just bull crapping there going to New York. When he went to California, he was just bull crapping. He was just showing off. He's showing off. Especially after he left them folks out there at Coachella, all of them, 8,000, 9,000 people out there and stuff. He left them walk to get their car. He didn't care about the people out there. He don't care about California. He don't even lost it. He was out there playing games with them people. He wanted to kind of put pressure on the folks in California just to make them think. And as soon as he went out there, you heard them posters. Oh, he real close in California. Now you know it's a damn lie. he gonna lose California by such a big margin. It could be unheard of. Oh my goodness. That's the game, Ted. That's the game. That's the game. That's the game of being elected. And like I said, I bet you some of them people who were sending them poll numbers out they're getting them numbers from the Democrats. He trying to tell them it's close. Trump might win. But look at Trump and see what's going on with him. Watch him. See what's going on with him. What is he doing? He's playing games. Because his plan, he knows that he's going to lose this daggone election. You can tell by how his reaction is. You can tell by his campaign. They're not even concerned and stuff now. All they're doing is trying to get that after game. He's trying to get his people to get out there and destroy this daggone election. That's what
I was just looking at the numbers as far as white women. 73.4 million women, white women, are eligible registered voters.
Mm-hmm.
73.
Mm-hmm.
36 million Hispanics.
Mm-hmm.
35 million blacks.
Mm-hmm.
And we already know they're going to get at least 28, 29 million blacks, and they're going to get about 60% of the Hispanics. But a lot of the Hispanics that registered to vote, they're not going to vote.
But Ted, remember what I just told you. Where are these people at? You have to look at them battleground states. Who's in those battleground states is what's going to determine this election. You may have all them folks down there, whatever, but you have to look into those battleground states and look at those numbers. And that's exactly what both of these campaigns are doing. They're looking in these states. They're looking in Arizona to see who they can get out of Arizona, the white women in Arizona. That's what we have to worry about. The white women in Nevada, that's what you have to worry about. The white women here in Georgia, that's what you got to worry about. The white women in Pennsylvania, that's what you got to worry about. The white women in Michigan and Wisconsin, those are the ones you got to worry about. Those are the ones you got to count. Those are the ones you got to be looking at. And I guarantee you, both of these campaigns are looking at them numbers, and they looking at them damn close, buddy. And they ain't looking at what them posters and stuff are saying. They looking at their own ground game that they got out there, going out there and knocking on them daggone doors and passing out stickers and stuff and everything. And I guarantee you, the Democrats got a better ground game in Nevada and in Arizona. And their ground game is getting better in Wisconsin and Michigan. And guess what? In Pennsylvania, you got a Democratic governor. Michigan, you got a Democratic governor. Wisconsin, you got a Democratic governor. In North Carolina, you got a Democratic governor. In Arizona, you got a Democratic governor. And I guarantee you and stuff, them governors and stuff know exactly what's going on in their daggone state, because that's how they won.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay? That's what you be looking at. The rest of them, they're not worried about them. They ain't worried about Arkansas. They ain't worried about Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama. They ain't worried about them states. They ain't worried about them. They done gave them to Trump. If you look at all these posters and stuff, when you get on TV, they ain't never changed the Midwest. It's all red. They ain't even looking at it. They looking at them battleground states. What's going on there? That's why they changing them colors back and forth and everything. And they sitting there listening to those people and stuff and everything. And what these folks in the campaigns want me to do, especially Kamala's campaign and stuff, because she's been listening to Barack and she's been listening to Puloff or whatever that boy's name is and stuff, that took care of Obama's campaign and stuff in 2008 and 2012. David Plouffe. She's listening to them. And they're guiding her through what's going on and stuff in these daggone battleground states. And I guarantee you that they're going to be able to tell you exactly what the heck going on. And come November the 5th, all of them are going to be able to tell you if she done won or not. Or where they need to send their people to get these folks out to vote. And they're going to start, and the closer they get to the election, Ted, the more they're going to be targeting these areas where they know that people ain't came out to vote yet, where them votes and stuff are at, and where they need them. How do you think that these news medias and stuff and everything can tell you before they wait till the polls close in California because they can't say it, but I guarantee you, most of them know who done won. So watch what's going on. Watch what these campaigns are doing. Watch each one of those campaigns. Watch the Republican campaigns and see what they're doing. You watch the Democratic campaign, see what they're doing. Then you know what's happening. And you're going to find out the week before the election's over, you're going to find out who's winning and who's losing. And who knows if they won and who knows if they lost. They're going to back off their money. They're going to back off their ad campaigns. They're going to back off a whole lot of stuff off. They're not going to spend as much money out there because they're going to throw their money into a losing cause. And the ones and stuff who know that they're winning, they're going to be battling it out until November the 5th.
I want to switch gears here.
Go ahead.
You know, we was talking about Brussick. And so I did a little research on it, not much, but enough to understand because of these other countries that are switching to their own currency, at least trying to make an attempt to. And some of them are backing, these central banks are backing these types of their own currency and backing it up with gold. China is one of the largest, biggest producers of gold. Russia, same thing. So, and you know, we're not on a gold standard.
Nope. I haven't been for a long time.
Right. So now the point is that they're looking at us trying to break us to bring the value down more, the dollar. Now, just looking and seeing the value of the dollar, it's going down a little bit. However, here's the thing, though. You know, when you look at these people, the reason why they're doing it, and we talked about this yesterday, the day before yesterday, is that their whole thing is because they got sanctions on certain countries, you know, like Iran, Russia, and even China in certain degree. So they're tired of the sanctions. Then they're looking at this saying, United States owe $35 trillion in the hole, which is more than our GDP. So now, here's the thing that I want to address, and to me, which I'm trying to figure out. What you laughing at? Go ahead. What you laughing at?
Where is Wall Street? Where's the New York Stock Exchange?
Okay.
Where's NASDAQ? Where's the Mercantile Exchange at?
Yeah.
Where they at?
Okay.
Where they at?
In New York.
Where they at? Okay. All the big things is right here, buddy. And ain't nobody looking at the stock exchange in China. They got one, but they're not looking at them. Everything is gauged by what? Anytime anything happens here in the United States, the whole world get affected. Just like throwing a rock in the river, in the lake. It goes right there, and if New York throws a rock in there, it affects everybody. If you owe some now, you a banker, and your biggest borrower is the United States. If the United States go belly up, where you at? You're going to follow right behind them.
Yeah.
You're going to follow right behind them. So you're going to prop them up. How you think Trump been able to borrow all that daggone money from these banks? He's one of their biggest borrowers. They ain't going to let him fail. They're going to prop his butt up, and he knows it. Because they can't allow him to go under. They got, if 2/3 of their money is in Trump, and they depending on him to pay his bills, they ain't gonna let him fail. That's how he got that money from all them banks. They ain't gonna let him fail. They're gonna go belly up. Everything they got is dependent upon him. Everything China got is dependent upon us. We go belly up, they're going to be even worse. Because I guarantee you, if China says something, everything, and they try to act a damn fool, we're going to go right over there to the European Union and stuff and say, hey, we're going to the World Bank. We need some money over here. And they're going to give it to us. And we're going to default on them fools.
Yeah, they contribute to the World Bank billions and billions of dollars.
I know it. And we're going to default on them. So, all right, you want to act a fool? We're going to default on you. We ain't going to pay you a dime. What they going to do? What they going to do? We sitting in the driver's seat, man. I don't know why we see you sitting there worried about it. We sitting in the driver's seat. That's why we're able to just increase our debt and don't care. They ain't gonna let us fail.
Here's the thing, though.
Go ahead. Now, let me say something that just happened. The United States put together a loan to Ukraine for $90 billion. Congress didn't give them the money. Where do you think they got it from? They took that money that they had taken from Iran and confiscated and used that money to fund Ukraine and gave them a $90 billion loan on that money. Tell you, buddy, all kind of ways to skin a cat. I don't care what the heck happened. They ain't dependent upon the Congress and stuff to say, okay, we're going to give them this money. They went and stole that money from Iran. They confiscated that money from Iran and they gave that money to Ukraine and funded it to them. So we're gonna give you that money on a loan.
Well, that's their whole big beef, bro. That's their whole big beef because because we control the money, anytime, there's a conflict or whatever, and people have billions of dollars over here invested, and they breaking the rules, they're breaking the laws, then they take that money.
And they can't do nothing about it. Because the European Union said, okay, fine, we agree with it. They're the ones that are holding the money. The United States holding the money and the European Union holding the rest of the money. All their money belonged to Iran because they messed up with this nuclear crisis crap and stuff. So they stole their money and held it. So they took that daggone money and said, fuck it, we're going to give it to Ukraine to help them. But they call it a loan now. You think Ukraine gonna pay that money back?
No.
Okay.
Hell no.
And they know it too. But what did that do, Ted? What did that do? What's the after effects of them doing that? Why you think they did that?
Well, I don't know.
I would. I can tell you exactly why they did it. Iran can't let Ukraine fail. They got their money. They ain't gonna let them fail now, will they? Are you gonna let somebody fail who done took your money? Hell no. Smart move on their part. They got an ally now. Iran gonna sit there and say, "Oh, you let them." And I know that Blinken's over there telling them, "Say, hey, bro, if Ukraine fall, you ain't getting your money." So they got an ally now. Smart move, brother.
What I'm saying is this is the thing that Brexit is talking about. That the reason why they started their own little currency.
Yep.
Because they don't want to be gangstered.
Well, you have to consider that they got some of Russia's money too.
Yeah.
They done took some of their money. Because Russia cannot stand alone by itself. He had to send some of his money out. Some of them oligarchs who's sitting around there and everything with them billions of dollars and everything, and some of them folks are scared to come out of Russia now. Because you see, they done confiscated one of them daggone oligarchs' $90 million boat over there. They done took his boat from him and everything and confiscated it. You can't let their money go like that.
So does that make the United States? What does that make the United States?
It makes them a hell of a negotiator. What they gonna do? They can't stop it. They don't get. They got the money in their banks. They holding the money, and they say, "Okay, we gonna loan it out." That's good banking. If they say anything, say, "Man, that's good banking stuff." Now look, you're getting interest off of your money now from the Ukraine. What they gonna say? We loaning your money out so you can make some more money. We don't want your money sitting there not gaining interest. It's been sitting here for what, 4-5 years now. You're not getting interest off of it, so we helping you out, brother. We trying to build your money up. What they gonna say? Smart move.
Well, here's the thing, though, bro. While they playing with nickels and dimes, and comparatively speaking, as far as the trillions of dollars,
yeah,
and it starts adding up to trillions.
Yeah,
playing and things like that. But here's the thing: what the big beef is. The big beef is that the money that they're playing games with in these warfares, overspending in the military, overspending in giving money out to different countries and what have you, they're not investing in America.
They don't care about that. Ted, they've been doing this stuff for decades. Bush sent trillions of dollars over there to Afghanistan and Iraq war. They could have spent that money here to take care of these folks. We've been hollering that crazy stuff ever since he came in power. We need to put this money in the United States. They don't care. They're going to send it over there to them other countries.
What is that about?
What?
What is it about? Why are they doing it?
It's all about keeping your hands and stuff in other folks' pockets that makes you strong. Because the people over here, Ted, that's got the money, They don't care. Their money's still sitting in their pocket. They still prospering. I can go around here into this area here, Tia. How do you think the state of Georgia is sitting up in here and there's huge pockets of money concentrated in 3 counties? Trillions of dollars sitting in these 3 counties. And these people are building like crazy. And these folks in the outlying areas, in them rural areas, where those Republicans and stuff are at, they're not getting a dime of that money. How you think them folks over there in North Carolina them fail, them dams them fail, the roads them screwed up and everything? They don't have no money up there. The roads are already in bad shape. The money sits right here in Atlanta, gateway to the south. Sits over there in Charlotte, North Carolina, the triangle. They're keeping that money and stuff there. And them people over there happy because they're taking that money and stuff that they're using and stuff and spending it and stuff and taking care of their folks right there in that area. And we can't get our hands on that money. I'm telling you, man, they building like crazy around here. Where that money coming from? They building like crazy. I just told you I went over there into this neighborhood the lady's at. Ted, 4 years ago, that neighborhood did not exist. Didn't exist. They got $1 million homes up there. Where the money coming from? They're still sending money over there. That $1.5 trillion that Biden got Congress to implement. He wanted more than that. He wanted what, $5 trillion, but they nibbled it, nitpicked it down to $1.5 trillion, and some of that money out of that $5 trillion that Biden wanted to give went to the Black community. Guess what they did with that money? They took it out, and when they got down to that 1.5, they go to our community. But who getting that $1.5 trillion? White folks in the area over there. All the Republicans getting that money. It's going to the neighborhood right around here. I drive, and when I first came here, I would drive down Interstate 75 and 85 would meet up right downtown Atlanta. And I got pictures of the skyline when I moved down here in 1998. If you look at the skyline right now, it is totally changed, Ted. Totally changed. There's huge buildings and stuff down here. All the banks got a huge building down here. Then they study building. Where that money coming from? It ain't going overseas. That money here, buddy. It's sitting here. And they're getting bigger. And they ain't stopped building. They just tore down 4 homes that they just rebuilt 2 years ago. Tore them down. And they put, I don't know what they're putting out there, but they got about 5 acres of land that they done cleared out. I have no idea what they putting there, but they put something there, and they spending a lot of money doing it. Because each one of them 5 homes and shit, it was worth at least $300,000. So they done took $1.5 million in homes and tore it down. And now they're out there rebuilding it. They tore everything up, man. They got trees they picked up. Man, they done cleared up at least 10 acres of land. Cleared it out. I have no idea what they're going to put out there. but they tore that stuff down. They ain't coming in the hood. That money ain't coming in the hood. It coming over here with these white folks. They got that money. And we can't get none of it. They throwing penny nickels and dimes out there to us.
Well,
Now
here's what I think.
now they bragging about they done gave the HBCU $16 billion. Just like you just said, that's chump change.
Yeah.
But it's more than anybody else that gave them. So I guess they said, hey, we get more.
Here's the thing, though. Is it what I think? This is just my own opinion. I might be wrong on this, but the point is, we might be fighting the wrong battle. You know, of course, we want equity. We want all of that. You know, civil rights. You know, we want to be treated equal and all that. But the thing is that availability to be able to get that money. Now, what gives you availability to get that money? You know what it is?
I'm listening.
Banks.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have banks because the money comes through the banks.
Absolutely.
And so these people come in there and they say, hey, I got an idea. You got a group of people now that know how to build and know what they want, and they already got the zoning permission and everything.
What I've been preaching, Ted, what I've been preaching for ever since you and I have been doing this stuff, what I've been preaching, we need to own some banks. These white folks got banks, they own them, and they get borrowing money out. Hey, we need to own some banks. We don't sit down there and realize. Now, they had a rapper here in Atlanta, and he had the same idea I had, owning a bank. But he got into the daggone thing, and he screwed it all up. He screwed it all up. The first thing that we want to do when we start getting money and stuff in, we want to spend it. And you don't put your money back in there because you have to have capital in there to back up whatever you got out there. You can't have no bull crap going on. You got to have capital to back up. You getting the money. They want 15% of that money that you get into from the Federal Reserve has to be backed up with solid capital, whether it's real estate that's worth it or commercial property that's worth it. And if you don't have that, they're going to close you down. You didn't have that. You didn't have enough people up in there telling him what he had to do and everything to keep that stuff going, because all he knew was how to rap. He wasn't a business person. You needed to brought a business person in there that was going to help him to get himself over. But you also have to be careful and stuff with who you bring in there, because guess what that we're going to do? We're going to rob and we're going to steal. We see somebody with some money, we're going to try to take it. And not realize, I'm looking over here at Boeing. You brought it up the other day. There's Boeing sitting over there. These folks on strike.
Yeah.
Them people offer them 35% increase in their salary. Guess what them knuckleheads done?
Turned it down.
Turned it down. They already told them they going broke. They've been showing these people have gone broke. They losing billions of dollars every year in profit. And they offered them 35% increase in salary. So what them knuckleheads do, we're going to turn it down. Ted, they got him over a barrel. They got Boeing over a barrel. When you get somebody over a barrel and stuff, you sit down at the negotiation table and stuff, and you sitting down there at a strong point. What's wrong with doing what Chrysler did when they went up under in 2008, when Obama came in there and bailed out the auto industry? What did Chrysler folks do? That union told their people and stuff, we want 10% of the company for the union in lieu of getting an increase in our salary, and they gave it to them. What's wrong with these union folks and stuff getting off of your knucklehead butts and everything and negotiating when you got somebody over a barrel? Owning part of Boeing is going to give you what? If the company is successful, that 15% is going to equal up a heck of a lot of money that's coming into your union members' pockets. You're going to get more than 35%. And I guarantee you Boeing will probably give it to him because he got him over a barrel. Final word, Ted. We are with 14 minutes here, man, into our show.
Well, I think that we're so behind the 8 ball as far as knowing how to play this money game. And there's a lot of smart black people out there. Don't get me wrong. They know, because you got some of them. They working for white folks, and they in the merger game, and they in the finance game, and all that.
Right.
But the point is that they probably hitting the rope. If they go to the other side, to the black side, they're gonna have that problem. What'd you say? People like to steal.
Mm-hmm.
And so the point is, they'd rather go ahead on and work for the white folks.
Mm-hmm.
And use that skill and knowledge.
But you can own your own stuff, Ted. And just like the Jews and stuff did. You know what them Jews did down in Jewtown? In Chicago, you know what the Jews did? They hired them black folks to work in their store, and they paid them $2 or $3 less than the other folks are getting. And when they asked the Jews and stuff why they were doing that, well, I know he's gonna steal. So he getting the rest of his money because they gonna steal the rest of their money. So I'm gonna cut their salary and then they can steal the rest of their money. You got to think, man. You got to use your head. That's the way you're gonna make it here.
Well, the point is that I'm just saying, my last statement is that some of these people that's going to these business schools,
absolutely,
they're gonna have to gather together. You got all these NBA associations, black NBA associations, all that stuff.
Yeah,
they ain't doing their job.
Yeah, and I tell you what, man, the reason why most of the unions and stuff and everything have lost the hold, and they need to turn around instead of blaming Biden and Barack Obama because they ain't getting nothing done. You need to turn around and look at yourself in the mirror. The days of you negotiating salaries and doing all that old crap that you were doing and everything is over. You're going to have to figure out how to make money for your union members other than asking for a damn salary. And the reason why they're doing that, guess what? They lazy. They lazy. They got these stores and stuff now, these local stores in these other areas in these towns and stuff down here, and they selling these stores out. Well, we can't make no money, so we closing the stores down. Well, some of these towns and stuff got some smart white folks and stuff in them, and guess what they doing? They taking their employees and stuff, and they buying these daggone stores, and it's owned by the employees. If you own something, what you gonna do? You're gonna work a little bit harder for it if you own it. That's my stuff. Gotta think outside the box. And you know why they took that money and they gave it to Ukraine, don't you? Because Russia and China get together and they tried to put some more currency out there. So they putting some roadblocks out there against their money, and they ain't done. They getting ready to get them again. You ain't gonna next year. You probably gonna hear no more about them Russian coins and Russian credit cards and stuff. They ain't gonna have no money to back the stuff up because they even stole that money and stuff legally. Some kind of way they gonna steal that money. Now, I would have never thought to give the money to Ukraine as a loan, but somebody in the infinite wisdom thought about that. Said, "Shoot, we got to get these fools Where can we get some money from? Oh, we got some money still in our bank that belong to Iran. We're going to loan that money out to them. And they can't say nothing about it. Ted, we got to go, man. We way over. Hey, people, we got to go. We're an hour and 20 minutes. We're 20 minutes over time. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.